So, your made-up religion doesn't let you celebrate other things that actually promote goodwill?
We didn't want pagan influences.
Isn't your whole religion pagan influenced?
Yes.
So, why did you have the religion then?
Because we believed in the absolute word of the Bible.
Which is pagan influenced.
We thought the Bible was the word of God, not pagan influence.
So, God is a pagan.
You could say that, but we didn't believe it.
And just in severe denial.
But pagans, aren't they supposed to be worshipping many gods?
What do you mean they're supposed to be worshipping many gods?
That's what that's what people think that pagans are people who worship other gods.
So you didn't even know what a pagan was. You just assumed based on hearsay and rumor.
Yes.
Breaking that whole gossip bullshit.
Yes.
Interesting.
Our religion is very strange compared to the mainstream religions.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens
to be different, unique. Cults that form off of the older cults have to come up with a new shtick.
Yeah. Yeah. And anything that's not of the Bible, we were trying to reject. This included Easter.
Did you grow the long curly hair things?
No, we didn't.
But that's in the Bible. There's clearly hair trimming rules in the Bible.
I don't remember growing the curly hair things. Anybody in my
You're not
church
supposed to cut your hair a certain way. Even for men. It actually says that in the Bible. Women are supposed to have the long hair, and men are supposed to have theirs cut a certain way. That's why Jews grow those.
I was a kid most of the time when I was in that religion.
But none of the guys did it?
None of the guys did it.
Oh boy. Did the women at least grow their hair out? Or did
they
shave
did.
their heads too, just to be unique?
They grew their hair long.
Perhaps wore sackcloth and threw ashes on themselves?
They grew their hair long.
Because they realized how stupid it was?
I've heard of a lot of strange things. Like, for instance, there's one religion. I remember a kid in my school. She was not supposed to wear earrings.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to pierce your flesh. That's actually in the Bible too, someplace, I believe.
Well, our religion didn't believe.
Except for that whole you get your ear pierced as a bondservant thing, which is also in there as a clear contradiction. Also, you're not supposed to get tattoos.
We didn't get tattoos.
Well, that's good. No bar-coded Nazi symbols?
No. None of that stuff. We just tried not to celebrate the pagan holidays.
So, you didn't even know what it was, but you decided it was bad.
Yes. And then our church kind of changed on those rules after a while.
I see.
They started going mainstream.
So they couldn't make up their own mind.
Yes. And they kept fractioning off too. I mean, there's 40,000 versions of Christianity, aren't there? At least.
Minimum?
Yeah. Last I checked, anyway. I think it was closer to 41,000.
I don't know, it's a lot.
And that's because religions fracture off of religions, and fracture off of religions, and they think, hey, our version of the way we interpret the Bible is better than yours.
So what you're saying is your God's this book, or is it that book, or is it just some generic version of that book?
We thought it was the King James version.
That would be your God?
Yeah.
King James version of the Bible?
Yes, that would have been our God.
Worship a book, not a deity.
And we have to have a good concordance to make sure we get the right words.
So you worship two books?
Kind of.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is this a special revelation from God?
Yes.
So what you're saying is it was extra biblical revelation?
Extra biblical.
Not of the Bible?
It was of the Bible, apparently.
It didn't come from the Bible, though? That concordance wasn't written in the Bible, so it's extra biblical?
They
So
were
even
trying to
though-
interpret the words of the Bible as they originally meant to be.
Yeah, but that interpretation is extra biblical, because it's not in the Bible.
This is true, yet our religion didn't view it that way.
So what you're saying is extra biblical interpretation was fine, so long as it came from the guy who told you what everything meant, and you agreed with him.
He told us, if you don't believe him, look it up.
According to his concordance.
According to his interpretation.
So what you're saying is, you had to have extra biblical revelation that matched his, or you weren't a follower of God.
I'm not exactly sure how it worked.
Did God have a white beard like Santa?
We believed very much in not having representation of images of God. We didn't have a cross in our religion or anything like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We weren't allowed to use the symbolism of the cross.
Uh-huh. And nobody ever painted a picture, drew a picture? You never saw a picture?
The most we drew a picture of, the symbol of our church was a child with a lamb and a lion. That was one of the main pictures for our religious.
I see. So you couldn't have pictures, except for the pictures you had?
Except for the pictures we had in our lessons, as we were told to. We had very good pictures. Just we weren't supposed to make pictures of God.
Oh. So you worship white Jesus, you just didn't know it was white Jesus. Because most Christians worship white Jesus.
We didn't even make depictions of Jesus.
Wow. Like I said, you probably worship white Jesus without even realizing it was white Jesus.
We worshipped actually more the Old Testament than the New. Especially since we kept the Jewish holidays, for the most part.
So you claim to be Christians and didn't even like Jesus.
We believed in both the Old Testament and New Testament were equal.
And was it white Jesus? That's all I'm asking.
I don't know.
You know how
if
much
it
of
was
Christianity
really,
follows
I
white
don't,
Jesus?
I don't even think we really paid attention to whether it was white. He was white or not. We didn't really care.
I'm just saying, he's from that area of the world where, you know, he didn't look like me.
I don't think we really thought of him as a white person.
You probably did, because historically what Zeus looked like was one image, and it's usually white, and that's kind of what they shoehorned in on Jesus.
I think that we thought he was a Jew. He was of Jewish descent, so he was probably a Jew.
Well, at least you would have got that right.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I think we had a bit of thing in the church where we thought that all of our church members were descended from the Israelites.
So you did believe in white Jesus. You just all thought you were white Jesus too.
We thought we were descendants of Israel.
You're white.
Not all descendants of Israel are white. And not all of them are Jewish looking.
You're Norwegian looking.
I can understand that.
Maybe German looking, you know, somewhere in that area.
I think there was a thing in my religion where we were talking about, where we thought that that Jews were spread across the entirety of everywhere, and we were somehow genetically related to the Israelites.
Well, We're all technically genetically related to the Israelites. We're also all technically genetically related to the grassland lions and tigers because the DNA code is so fractionally minute different.
Yes. But we thought we were descendants of Israel itself. Even the whites and the blacks and the actual Jews.
So the land just birthed you forth like a giant vagina?
Yes, Israel just birthed us forth. We were all children of Israel, apparently.
You're like the afterbirth children from after the great flood happened? Like the water broke and then there you were?
Apparently. God picked Israel. He said that his descendants would be like the stars in the sky.
You don't sparkle. How could you think you were a star? Never mind that you're not so ridiculously hot I can sit this close to you, which also precludes you from being a star.
No.
You don't even shine light.
The numbers would be as much as the stars in the sky.
It can't fit on this planet. We'd have to colonize other planets.
This is true.
I'm just saying.
Well,
does this not
there's a story in the Bible where it talks about how God tells him that his descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the sky.
True.